and click. Once again, hi YouTube. And whoever else is watching this, I'm recording it for YouTube, but I mean, it doesn't mean to say that someone else won't watch it somewhere down the line. And some clips from the sequel to my Emily Jade Diary, Book 1, Emily Jade Diary, Book 2. So, as we left them at the end of Book 1, the baby is 6 months old and the mother has had a scare, if you know what I mean. So we're going to skip the first couple of days at the beginning. I'm going to start on Monday, June the 13th. 1:21 p.m. The Mumsy's, this is the baby, you know, it's the diary of a baby in case you didn't get the book. My beautiful daughter on the front and back, isn't she gorgeous? The answer is yes, she is. She doesn't look like that now, of course. Well, let's just get on with the video, shall we? So, and I've been told to make these clips shorter as well because people just get hooked on them and they won't turn them off, so okay. That's this one filled up already. So, Monday, June the 13th, 1:21 p.m. The Mumsy's best friend, the Ronnie, has come to visit her. To celebrate the Mumsy's lack of pregnancy, the Ronnie has brought her a bottle of wine, which she forgot that the Mummy cannot partake of, as she is breastfeeding. Rather than let a good gesture go to waste, the Ronnie will be returning home later with said wine nestling safely in her bladder. Strange, since from what I can gather, the Ronnie is looser than a televangelist's morals and, as there is a do on at the rugby club tonight, may very well be breastfeeding someone herself later. The Mumsy and the Ronnie always like a nice chat and I always like a nice listen, except when I am feeling mischievous, when I always like to pull one of my socks off and stuff it in my mouth every 12 seconds to make the Mummy interrupt said chats and put it back in its correct place. Tee. Are you pleased that you're not carrying, Isla? In a way. We would love a second one, but it's just so soon. Paul is working 6 days a week at the moment, and Emily Jade is so demanding. Poof, cheek. Very well then, I demand a car. Get to it. False alarms can be murder, Isla. I've lost count of the number of sticks I've peed on. Well, let's just hope you don't work in a nice lolly factory then. You've got to be more careful, Ronnie. You don't want to be a single mother. What does she want to be then? A double mother? A clotted mother? This is boring me. Now, where's that sock? Babies are hard work, I can tell you. I don't know what you mean. Look at how... Emily Jade, will you leave your socks on, young lady? Oh, that's what you mean. Has the dust settled after the dinner party the other night, Anna? I'm chuckling because I know what the dinner party sketch was like. Ah, yes, I remember that. Not having heeded the warnings from Come Dine With Me / Glencoe. The parent people recently thought to hold a haute cuisine gathering for their friends, which turned out to be a halted cuisine rather rapidly. Of the guests, we have the Nicholas and the Miranda, who work with the dadsy at the accountancy place and are so full of high opinion of themselves that they make the puppet people from Made in Chelsea look like a lavatory cleaner at Gallipoli. We had the Karen and the Justin, an on-off couple who are as mismatched as a bodged boob job. We had the man voracious Ronnie, and we had her sacrifice, her date, the John, an old friend the dadsy had called out of the blue without realising that the John was not out of the closet. I won't recount the gory details, just think of the charge of the Light Brigade with hors d'oeuvres and you will get the picture. Well, I don't think we were getting any Christmas cards from Miranda and Nicholas. I called Karen the next day and she is okay. You have to be very careful with her stress. Can you believe it though? She has gone back to Justin. Justin is Karen's boyfriend / crossed in life to bear. I'm not saying he is a bad person, but if there is karma, he will be reincarnated as Jeremy Carter's conscience. What? What did she see in that plonker? You're a fine one to talk. Halfway through the evening, you looked up and announced that you bonked him. Ah, that was the booze talking. Does that mean that you hadn't? So how are your parents? Blimey, that change of topic couldn't have been more obvious if you'd advertised it on the internet for a week beforehand. They are fine, thank you, miss. I don't want to answer that. I've always wondered what her surname was. Did you tell them that you thought you might be expecting another little one? I know I was, and I bonked Justin. Yeah. Ronnie, really? And no, I didn't. I learnt long ago it's best to tell them things after they've happened. That way you only have to deal with the judgment, not opinions, interference and judgment. Aha. So, my lesson for today. Tell parent people nothing until you have to. We'll log that along with don't pee when the changing mat is raised at the head end as best knowledge of the month. Speaking of which, come here, my little darling. Wee, up in the arms for a swing. I should have done this in different voices, shouldn't I? Anyway, so there's two women talking, you know, as you get it, and the baby's doing the thoughtful interjections. Rock-a-bye Emily on the cough, splutter, cough, cough. Wee, down in the lap for a sit. A whole 8 seconds. Enjoy those, Margaret, do you, Ronnie? So, not training for the Olympics then, Ron? One hopes not. She'd nick the eternal flame for a ciggy lighter. Shut up, Mother Superior. So, Emmy, I bet you'd have liked a little brother or sister, wouldn't you? You know what? I think I would. Someone to play with? Yes, someone to play do this for me and do that for me with. Cheaper than minimum wage and no hassles with immigration. Someone to share all your toys with? Don't you dare have any more children, Mumsy. I'm aware of this concept of sharing and it's only worthwhile if it's a one-way street. Ask any divorcee. Okay, that's the end of that clip there.